Anyone have any questions?
What were the documents you saw today?
Well, I would say over 50% of the documents were redacted, so there really wasn't anything to talk about. It was over 50% redacted. All I know is it mentioned Hunter Biden, Burisma, and there was some type of investigation with respect to fraud taking place, but there was so much redacted, you really couldn't tell anything from the 1023s. And then there was a concern that in the original 1023, there were 2 footnotes. That's how we knew there were additional 1023s. One was referenced in 2017 and one was referenced in 2018. The 2 they brought us today were both dated 2017. So the only question that I asked was, where's the one on 2018? And they asked, what are you talking about? I said, well, these are both dated 2017, and the one that you had, I said, look it up. They said, well, we didn't bring it. I thought, well, I can assure you it said 2018 at the bottom. So they said they would take note of that and go back. And I ended it, well, let us know when you get the 2018 1023. So,
did you get any clarity on the ongoing investigation?
No, that was never mentioned. But look, the last line in the U.S. Attorney from Delaware statement was, this is an ongoing investigation. I don't know exactly what that means. We're trying to determine that. But we know the last time that Raskin and I were in there, and we did get a briefing. We didn't get a briefing today. There was no briefing today. And the 2 documents were so heavily redacted, I have nothing really to say. I'll answer a few questions, but there's nothing to say because they were so redacted.
The speaker seems to think that the reason the U.S. Attorney said there's ongoing investigation is to hinder them being able to give any documents to the House. Do you share that sentiment?
Well, I'm concerned, but I'll give the U.S. Attorney the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully he'll be able to answer that question. I think everyone in America wants to know, what do you mean by this is an ongoing investigation? And I think that's a great question.
Are you going to resume your resolution to hold Director Wray in contempt of Congress?
Well, we're waiting to hear back on the 1023 form dated 2018, the 2 that we looked at today that were so heavily redacted. And look, they're going to have to do better than that. At the top of the 1023, it says unclassified document. I mean, so I'm going in the SCIF to look at an unclassified document that's over 50% redacted. It really doesn't make, what part is redacted? Is it about Joe Biden is that the part that's redacted? I don't know.
Congressman Raskin said that these documents were far afield of what you guys are investigating. Would you agree with that characterization?
That what now?
That the 2 documents that you viewed today are far afield from what the focus of your investigation is.
No, the focus of our investigation is Joe Biden and trying to determine what role he played in the millions of dollars that his family took from foreign nationals that was laundered through shell companies into various Biden family accounts. That's what we want to know. What role did he play? And is our president compromised because of the millions and millions of dollars that his family has received from foreign nationals?
So now we've been talking about the fact that these particular 1023s are redacted. So is the next step now to look for the unredacted version of these particular documents? And if you don't get it from them, will then start?
Well, we're going to talk about that. I'll meet with the committee and we'll talk about it. But right now, they didn't supply the 2 1023s that were referenced in the original 1023 form that we looked at 2 weeks ago were dated 2017 and 2018. The 2 that we were presented today, about the only thing that wasn't redacted was the date, and they were both dated in 2017, one in December and one in March. But that's an important point. I want you to remember. I don't know what Raskin came out here and said, but these were dated 2017, and they reference Hunter Biden and Burisma in there. That part, there was one line that wasn't redacted about Hunter Biden and Burisma. That's 3 years before Giuliani ever started running around talking about things. So for the Democrats to go on with this narrative that this is about Giuliani, that is a lie. These were dated 2017 today, 2 of them. And we think there's one dated 2018, and the FBI couldn't answer that, but they're going to find out and get back with us.
Mr. Chairman, we know we and others have reported reported that prosecutors did look at Hunter Biden's overseas business dealings as part of
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
We and others have reported that prosecutors did look at Hunter Biden's overseas business dealings as part of the Weiss investigation. Why do you think your committee is going to be able to uncover something that prosecutors have not been able to?
Well, I wonder, did the prosecutor find all the shell companies? Did the prosecutor go through the suspicious activity reports where 6 different American banks suggested that the Bidens were involved in a money laundering scheme through various shell companies? Did they know about the FBI Form 1023 that alleged years before we uncovered the shell companies that an oligarch said he bribed both the president and his son, and he did it through various banks that investigators it would take 10 years to find? So I don't know what the U.S. attorney looked at, but we're going to do a very thorough investigation, and you're not going to have to ask questions of me like we were asking of the U.S. attorney in Delaware. You will know what we find because we come out here and present it to you. I have a press conference, and we'll do it. Anytime we find new bank records, we are transparent and present it to the press. What's going on now with Delaware, you all are asking me questions about what he did. I don't know what he did. All I know is the last line said, this is an ongoing investigation.
So, Chairman, what are you going to do to try to get those answers specifically?
Well, we've got people coming. We've got bank records coming in. We're going to be reviewing those. Our investigation continues. Remember, our investigation is of Joe Biden. It always has been. In December, when we had the press conference, or maybe it was the end of November, I said, this is an investigation of Joe Biden. This is still an investigation of Joe Biden. The president's son, obviously, is a person of interest in the investigation. We believe that we've already brought out overwhelming evidence that would suggest of money laundering, wire fraud, racketeering, being an unregistered foreign agent, very serious crimes that, for whatever reason, weren't dealt with in the plea agreement today. But regardless, we're going to continue to focus on Joe Biden. We're going to continue to follow the money. Hopefully, we'll be having more people in for depositions, and we'll have a committee hearing very soon. I'll ask one more question, then I'll let you know.
This is about President Joe Biden. I just wonder, what specific evidence would you need to prove his connection here? What are you looking for, other than the bank records?
Well, so let's take what we've presented so far. The money, the $1 million from Romania, and millions of dollars from China that went to the Biden family through these shell companies that went to 9 different Biden family members. Does anyone dispute that 9 different Biden family members got money funneled through shell companies from foreign nationals? Does anybody want to debate that right now? Everybody knows that, right? Some of you, I don't know that you reported that. But 9 Biden family members have gotten money from foreign nationals in China and Romania that was funneled through shell companies. My question right now, with just that part of the investigation, what did they do to receive that money? Because I just don't believe that the president's grandchildren and the president's son were savvy enough to do some kind of deal that would give them the benevolence from these foreign nationals. I believe that that the president, then vice president, was involved. We have other countries that we're just now getting bank records in, from Russia, from Ukraine. We know the president's brother was heavily involved in some shady activity in the Middle East. We're going to continue to.
Wouldn't you have to prove in writing that Biden received that money in exchange for?
I guess to the press corps. I mean, I feel like I'm going to be held to a tougher standard than Adam Schiff by you all. But I want to be.
Prosecutors, you would have to present that evidence to prosecutors, right? If you're digging for this evidence, it would have to be something in writing. Otherwise, it's just.
This is my last thing. I appreciate the question. But do you not have a little curiosity as to what the Biden family did to receive all this money? Are you not the least bit curious? Because it really doesn't make sense. I've been in politics a long time. I'm at a pretty good high level now in Congress. My kids don't get wires from foreign nationals or anything like. I don't have shell companies or anything like that. It's not normal behavior. And this is something that I think, and look, MSNBC is going to say, well, he referenced polls or whatever. The reference to the polls was that a majority of Americans are keeping up with this investigation and want to know whether or not the president was compromised. a majority of Americans are opposed and detest public corruption, and they expect the House Oversight Committee to lead a credible investigation. And unlike Adam Schiff, I can't just walk up and say, yes, we have very damaging evidence of the president's colluding with Russia. I have to show the evidence. But we have. We've showed wire transfers from Romania and China through shell companies. When you create shell companies
I'm not denying
for the purpose of laundering money, that's called racketeering. So we're going to continue to be transparent. What happened today really has no impact on our investigation. This time in the skiff with the FBI was a complete waste of my time because so much of the documents were redacted and they didn't have the right dates that matched the footnotes on the original document. So we're going to expect the FBI to come back with the correct dates.